welcome back to the Pursuing Excellence podcast. I'm your host, Jay and Gay, and with me on the podcast today, I have Miss Brenda Baugh. She works in the Career Services Department here at Georgia State University. Miss Baugh, thank you for joining us here on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. And before we start, guys, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're on YouTube. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You can find us there, Pursuing Excellence. All right, so Miss Brenda Baugh. Again, like I said, thank you for joining us today here on the podcast. Love to have you on. You also came by, spoke to one of my classes here at Georgia State, so about just career services and how your different services you guys offer to students. So talk a little bit about that and how you got into that department here at Georgia State.
Well, first of all, just letting students know that University Career Services is not just for one campus, it's for all campuses. So we offers a lot of services like help students with choosing a major and exploring the different career options under those majors. We help you with search for jobs, full-time, part-time, internships, and we also help you with resumes and cover letters, doing LinkedIn profiles, and a host of different assessments to help you to find your strength, your weaknesses, and we do a lot of recruitments. I got a couple of recruitments coming up over the next 2 weeks. Next week, I have a recruitment with Dell. They're looking for all majors. And then I have a recruitment the week after that with a company called Unify, and that's about aviation services. So it's always good to attend these recruitment events because they help you to become familiar with what employers are looking for and help you to understand what they expect for you now and in the future. So I've been in Georgia State. Next month will be 3 years.
Wow.
And I've been in career services since 2012. I started out in school. I was a pre-law major, so that's what my family expected me to be.
Right.
You do what parents expect. You go to school, you're going to be a lawyer, because they thought I had these great argumentative skills, but I didn't want to be a lawyer. So what did I do? I pursued it anyway. My senior year, I was like, I am not going to law school. So I changed my major my senior year, and I changed it to public administration. I knew I still wanted to be involved some kind of way in criminal justice, so I thought, what can I do afterwards? I graduated not knowing exactly what I wanted to do, not even having a clue. Right. So I got the first job that came available, working in Department of Revenue and doing accounting. I did that for about a year, and then I was like, I need to pursue something in criminal justice. So I thought, okay, let's go to State Board of Pardons and Paroles. So I ended up in the parole board, with death row inmates. That was not the ideal situation. So that was kind of traumatizing a little bit. So I was like, okay, let me leave this. Let me go to probation. They're a little bit better off in probation. At least they got a chance to change their lives. So I did that for a while. But in every job, I was always trying to figure out how to make myself better. What are employers looking for? How do you choose people? How do you ask the recruiters? How do you select who's going to get the job and all this kind of stuff? So after a year, I was there for about 10 years, and I wanted to change, and I was like, this is not working for me. So I had started a family, stayed home for a year, and then somebody said, come to corporate America. You make lots of money in corporate America. I was like, oh snap, let me go to corporate America, get paid. So I happened into a Fortune 500 company. Okay. They are now 5 on the Fortune 500 index, and I grew and learned a lot of different things with that company. I started out on the side where it was credit card processing. I learned how to program terminals, encrypt pin pads. I learned how to drive a forklift, a chair picker, and process boxes and stuff through FedEx and UPS and everybody. So just learning a little bit about that, I got into hardware a little bit more, and software Q&A. I worked on a help desk, and my manager there said, hey, you can really, you sell a lot just by telling customers what they need. Why don't you go into sales? I did that really well. That's where you make lots of money.
Yes, it is.
If you're interested in sales, you can make a lot of money. If you're interested in automatically 6-figure income, sales is the way to do it. So I was there for about 15 years, and eventually I was laid off. The company bought a different program than the one I was using. They sunsetted hours. I was laid off. And I had a nephew that was in school, and he said, Auntie Brenda, you should go to work at my school, because you remind me a lot of my teachers and stuff. I was like, boy, please. I ain't interested in working with teenagers. I don't even like kids. He was like, yeah, you say that all the time. My daughter said, why are you at the high school every day if you don't like kids? So I was like, okay, let me go and apply. I applied for a position. I got it. I was doing really well there, but that position was much like sales.
Right.
What I did is I worked with companies to sell training packages to their employees. So everybody I worked with were recruiters, HR people. What do you look for? How do you decide who to hire? How do you decide how to promote people? When do you give people raises? How do they get raises? I was always asking these questions. And eventually, my boss told me, he said, you sound like you're interested in career services. He said, because I hear the stuff that you talk. And he's like, you should talk to the career services team and see about that. And I interviewed, got the job, and took off from there.
Right. Yeah.
So I love it. I absolutely love that. I figured out this is my niche. That's why I tell students, your career path is going to find you. I don't care what you major in. I don't care what you do. Your career path is going to find you.
Absolutely. Yes. So talk about how, coronavirus, as you know, it struck in March 2020. It affected all of us in numerous amount of ways.
Yes.
Talk about specifically how it impacted you, not just professionally, but personally as well, and talk about that.
Okay. It gave me a work-life balance. It helped me to understand that everything is not about work 100%.
Right.
And I think students now need to talk to employers about work-life balance before they start. They really need to do a lot of research on jobs and the culture of the company and everything, because we never ever want to go back to that. You just stay at work and it's like a good thing where they expect you to work 50 and 60 hours a week,
right?
But you're not getting paid any extra. They're just expecting it. It's like, oh, you come to work sick and oh, that's a good thing. No, it's not. That's
No,
a sick thing.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't do that. But it gave me a work-life balance. But one of the things that I really enjoyed about it is I got to work with students that's literally all over the world. I worked with students in Africa. I've worked with students in Germany. I worked with students in India. And because all those time zones are different, I was able to work with students at the time that worked for them. Because I've been saying for a long time that it started with just students that have classes late at night in the evening. Why aren't we offering the same services to those students? So this gave us a chance to see we need to take care of students that's in California, Illinois, because when some of the students went home, they still needed access to career services. Yeah. So I booked appointments late in the evening. I booked appointments with Indian students as late as midnight.
Right.
Because the hours are different. I had to do some appointments on weekends, and I didn't mind one bit, because I got a chance to talk to these students and meet them and still teach them the same service, give them the same services or provide the same that the students here on campus receive.
Absolutely. And like you said, as a college student myself, and these are things that I've learned is important to start on now, because you don't want to wait. So to all of the upcoming freshmen in college,
absolutely.
You start now as far as thinking about, and I think this is this is wrong, but this is an expectation worldwide that they expect students to know what they want to do as soon as they get to college, and I don't think that's realistic necessarily.
It's not. It's not. Like I said, I still had no idea. There are some students who know as kids that I'm going to be a doctor when I grow up, because they've had that passion. Right. Maybe something happened to somebody in their family and they want to change that outcome. Right. And that's fine, but it's perfectly okay to not know exactly what you're going to do. What I do suggest to students is to pursue their passion. Right. No matter what that passion is, pursue that passion, and sometimes careers develop out of that. That's what I did. Everything I thought I was interested in, I was like, let me go for it. Let me go for it. Because I had no idea I was even interested in any type of hardware until I got that first job. They said, everybody here does everything. So you'll learn to program terminals, encrypt pen pads, and do software Q&A. I didn't know. And that helped me to know even more. So as I pursued all of that, it just helped me to grow and understand more about myself. So no, there's not only that, but I do a workshop called Understanding Your Career Path. And I explain to students that there may be one major, but there are a lot of different possibilities that you can go through with that. You know, I've worked with a student that was a biology major because their parents, once again, told them, you're going to be a doctor. But that's not what the student wanted to do. And I explained to students, I was like, well, what are you interested in? And the student told me environmental science. I was like, okay, well, that's fine. What part? Do you want to go for law? Or do you want to do something in sustainability? Or do you want to do research? What do you want to do? There are a lot of different job options and different career paths under one major. And that's why we tell students, talk to people in career services.
Yes. So talk about the importance of a good resume and good, like portfolio and profiles, things like that, to connect you to different people in different employment opportunities. Talk about how, networking. Talk about how extremely important that is.
It is. It's very essential. The sole purpose of a resume, people don't recognize, is to get you to an interview. So if you have resumes that are not generating the type of jobs that you're interested in, that means your resume is not working for you. Some students have so many different skills that you need more than one resume. You might be interested in graphic design on the side, but you might be an engineering major or a CIS student. So it's important to have a resume that demonstrates to an employer what they're looking for. When you do a resume, it's not just a list of jobs. There are very, very many, 3 different resumes, 3 different types of resumes that students can have. So talking to a career service professional helps you to determine what type of resume you need, what goes on that resume, what you leave off. But resumes are always designed towards the position you're trying to get. You have to do your research to find out what the industry trends are, what employers are looking for, what your skill set is, and talk to a career service person, because we're the ones who talk to those employers on a weekly basis and hold these recruitments that can tell you what they're looking for.
Yes.
And it's never too early to start.
Oh, never too early.
If you're in high school, this is the time to start.
Yes.
Because if you start now, we can help you. If you're not in high school, if you're not in college yet, we can help you start to do things now that can help you get an internship your freshman year. So it's important to start early. Preparation is the key. The quote I tell students all the time is, the candidates that get the job are not always the most qualified, but they are always the most prepared. And right here's where we prepare you.
Yes. So you talked about how resumes and those types of things, and they're essential because these are what these employers are looking at.
That's
not
what
just
expecting.
Like you said, yes, and not like you just said with the listing of your jobs or what you can do or a little bit about you, but just more so something that shows your professionalism and how you would operate in a workforce type of environment. And I think that's really important for people to understand, especially now as we're dealing with this COVID virus. You know, it's tough to get these jobs now, and because you have people not coming in with they're being sick, and and the small businesses, they're closing down. It's so many different ways as to how we can get into the workforce. And so we have to make sure that you're showing that you're going to be the type of person, hey, they want to hire me. So I need to make myself worth hiring or worth being a part of this team, whatever
you have
that
to
may
stand
be.
out.
Stand out, absolutely. So talk about what's some advice you would give to some college kids, or just no matter what grade, or in high school, like you said earlier, as to how to develop a sense of professionalism and getting prepared to go into the workforce or to what they want to do.
Networking. One of the things when students work with me, I tell them up front, you work with me, you're going to do some work. You can't expect to just get what you need in a classroom and go to a job, because the workforce trends are constantly doing and moving and evolving, that we're hearing from employers on a weekly basis what they're looking for, what they want, what they're trying to get from people. And if you are just relying solely on the classroom, you're not going to get it. You join student organizations. You become a member of a professional association, especially as a student because it's very much discounted. You attend networking events with employers. Those are the events where you can ask, well, some people call dumb questions. Those are the times when you can ask questions that you cannot ask during an interview because they're expecting you to know it. It's the time to prepare right now. You're doing research. You find out about what your market value is. Because just because you're a student doesn't mean your market value is not competitive with somebody that's already in the workforce. Again, it's about preparation.
Preparation.
So I have students to go and study different courses on Coursera, Code Academy, Khan Academy, LinkedIn Learning, Georgia State University Technology. I have you to do all of these things, and then we do a project and we write them up so the employer can understand that you know what Python is,
right.
That you have an outstanding understanding of Excel. Excel is something every student needs. I don't care what your major is. And I do recommend everybody take a coding course, either Java or Python, to see where you're going. But you want to start getting your name out as much as possible. When you get your LinkedIn profile set up, you want to start networking with companies and networking with other people who can open doors for you. If you're the smartest person in your group of circles, then you need to get a bigger circle. You need to get a bigger circle. You need to connect with people that you know can help connect you with other people. And that's career services, that's your professors, that's your classmates, is employers, it's people that you know are doing well in life or at a job or career. You want to connect with these people because you have to build that network. So if you're looking for something somewhere, you can say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, guys, can you connect me? And everybody that you know should have a copy of your most updated resume. I'm a nationally certified professional resume writer.
Wow.
Yes, you don't find that very often.
You don't.
No, you don't. And there's just 2 of us right now. Right. And that's okay. But it helps me because I can give these students a professional resume that outside of school, I can charge a couple of $100 for. But you get that benefit of having it free because you're a Georgia State student. Because I work with people, I work with actors. Sheriff Melody Maddox is the DeKalb County Sheriff. I did her resume when she was running for election. So I worked with a lot of different people on a lot of different levels. C-level executives. C-level is anything that starts with a C. CEO, CFO, COO. Those are C-level executives. You have to learn the trends. You have to learn the jargon of your profession. It's so many different things out there. Connecting with companies, not just connecting with them and saying like. No, you have to offer beneficial intellectual commentary on something that's been posted. Reading the press releases from different companies to find out what's coming down the pipeline. What are they offering? What are they looking for? And talk to them. Right. But yeah, you follow them on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and every piece of social media you can. You connect with them. But like I said, it's not about pressing the like button. That's cheap.
Right.
That's cheap. You want quality.
Yes. And you mentioned LinkedIn. So for people who don't know about LinkedIn, because I'm still learning this more myself, I made a profile myself, and that's helping me to get my name out there and everything. It's what I want to do. So for the people who don't really understand everything about LinkedIn, could you explain just a little bit how it works and how beneficial it could be?
Yes. LinkedIn is actually a social media platform, but it's only for business professionals. This is not the place where you post your puppy pictures and your vacations. This is the time to talk about what you're doing as a professional, who you are as a professional, and connecting with other people that's in your profession. It's a chance to help grow your brand. So that's what LinkedIn is. Employers can find you on LinkedIn. Some employers post jobs on LinkedIn. You can find jobs and internships. You can, like I said, network with almost anybody there. I had a student that I'd been working with since October or November of last year. She was an Atlanta student and she was going through interviews and wanted one-on-one interview training. Well, she went to IBM and I think she made it through 5 interviews.
Wow.
Because interviews are aggressive. There's no such thing as one interview, people.
Yes.
No, there's no such thing as one interview. So I helped her practice her interview skills. She didn't get the job in the end, but she wanted to meet me, and we had only met virtually. So she came to Decatur from Atlanta campus and introduced herself to me. So I did something that I've never done before. I posted a picture of me and her on my LinkedIn profile and said, one of my favorite students at Georgia State came to meet me. And before it was over, I had 3 employers to reach out to me and say, I said something about a data analyst student, great personality. I had 3 employers to reach out to me in an hour of me posting that, wanting her resume. And yes, I sent her resume out to all 3 of them.
Yes.
So it is important who you connect with, and you want to connect with people who can help you. This is the time when you say, what can you do for me?
Right.
That's what you say when you're on LinkedIn. You connect with other people, and you connect with friends and classmates that you know are going to do well, because most people don't even realize that the majority of jobs are not posted on career sites.
Right. They're not.
They're not posted at all because they don't want everybody applying for it. So if you're a great employee, somebody will ask, hey, do you know a great student that's just like you, or anybody that we can fill this next position? That's how those positions are filled.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, it's not really what you know, but who you know.
Well, it's what you know
yes.
and who you know.
What you know and
once
who
you
you
get
know.
there, you got to be able to do it.
Right. Yes.
But yes, it's definitely who you know. So no, I don't even get mad at people hiring people that they know, because everybody want to work with great people who they know are capable of getting the job done.
Yes. And so, and I do appreciate you talking about LinkedIn, because it is an important tool that I think all of you guys out there, you know, if you're in college or still in high school, that you should look into, and as far as to making a profile for yourself, exposing yourself to different people with different companies, you know, different opportunities.
Absolutely.
Maybe as well. So thank you for telling us about LinkedIn. And I also, one last thing, Miss Brenda, college is a hard thing,
Yes,
but
it is.
but it's, you know, there's been debate over years about how essential it is, or is it essential to being successful in life, because, you know, some people that were successful in life haven't gone to college. What's your personal opinion on that particular topic, as far as college and how it can
Change
translate
the trajectory of your life? Absolutely.
life?
It depends on what you're interested in.
Okay.
It depends on what you're interested in. I do know several people that have been quite successful in life. And success is relative. It depends on who you are and what you deem success is. But you can be successful in starting your own business,
Right.
but you're still using the same tools that I teach at Georgia State. College comes into play if you're working for someone and you want to advance your career and continue to climb up the corporate ladder or climb in your business. That's where college comes in hand, because you can be a computer science student and you can learn a lot about different programs, and you can get an associate's degree and get a certification.
Right.
Certifications are the moneymaker.
Yes.
Certifications are the moneymaker. As long as you get certified in something, you can definitely get that money. But the advanced degrees come from the advanced positions. That's where you get those C-level positions. So you can possibly do well without a college degree, but that depends on you running your own business, starting your own company. Perhaps you create an app that you can sell later on for millions of dollars. It's possible. It's not always probable.
Right. Yes. So that wraps us up today for the podcast, Ms. Brenda. But I appreciate you coming on and talking with us, sharing some things about yourself in the Career Services Department. And for any Georgia State students out there listening, if you're at the Decatur campus or any other campuses, are you at any other campuses around here?
I kind of work at all the campuses, but Decatur is my home base.
Okay, so
Yes.
for anybody out there watching, you can find Miss Brenda Baugh here at the Decatur campus in the building SA 2100 or at the Atlanta campuses or the Dunwoody campus, all the campuses, as she said.
Clarkson campus.
Clarkson campus.
But it's best to reach me through my email, and it's bbaugh@gsu.edu.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate you joining
Thank
us
you.
here on the Pursuing Excellence podcast. And you guys make sure you subscribe. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.